Hello friends. So in the previous session we have seen the relationship between the electrical frequency and the speed of rotation, speed of magnetic field rotation for a two-pole machine, right? And you saw that the theta electrical was there equal to theta mechanical. That means for every cycle of the electrical current, the magnetic field also will rotate the same distance. Okay, therefore we found out that omega electrical was equal to omega m. Okay, and then we can see that the frequency of electrical rotation is equal to the frequency of mechanical rotation, but however this frequency we will be replacing by another term in a general equation. Alright, so now that was for a two-pole machine. So how it will look for a four-pole machine now? Now two-pole machine, you are having one set of coil per phase. Okay, so for four-pole machine, what you do, you make two coil sets per phase. Alright, so what you have to do, you have to just repeat the winding. Okay, so I have just marked this coil as 1 1 because you are going to have another coil set, so it will be A2. So it will be A1 dash is the first coil for phase A, and A2 dash will be the coil for the second phase. So let's just repeat it. Okay, let's repeat the sequence here. So here you are having your A1, so this is A1, C1 dash. See, I'm just repeating it. Okay, and this will be B1. And this will be A1 dash. See, I'm just moving it like this. So this will be your C1, and then this is B1 dash. Okay, and here ends the first set of coils. Now we start the second set of coils and we'll follow the same sequence. So here you will have A2. Okay, and then you are having C2 dash. Just I'm replacing this 1 by 2 for every coil side. Okay, so here you are having B2, A2 dash, then you are having C2 and B2 dash, and then you are repeating and you have reached the endpoint. So you can clearly see that because the number of coil sides have increased, here the coil sides were 6, here it is 12. Okay, therefore the coils are much closely spaced here. Now I have always told you that theta electrical, okay, for producing a particular set of poles, you know that theta electrical equal to P by 2 into theta mechanical. Okay, let us see if that condition is followed here. I have told you for three-phase winding definition, so if you want 120 degree electrical displacement between the windings, right? So in this case, theta electrical you want to be 120 degrees. Okay, and how many poles are there? 4 poles are there. In this machine, 4 poles will be there. And then theta mechanical. So theta mechanical here, it will be actually how much? It will be 60 degree. And let us see if we have actually got 60 degree between each winding. Okay, so here is your A1 here, right? So this is A1. And let us see what is angle between A1 and B1. So you see A1 and B1 have 60 degree difference. See, because these are equally spaced, between everything there will be 30 degree. So here there are 30 degrees, so total will be 60 degree. Here you see how much degree it was? 120 degree. Okay, for 6-pole machine you have to do accordingly. For 8-pole machine you will have to do accordingly. Okay, so the distance, the angle between, so I'll just write angle between two phases equal to what angle? It is the mechanical angle will be equal to 60 degrees, and this will give an electrical angle of 120 degrees. Okay, this is the common mistake that people make, that they always think that the angle is 120 degree for three-phase winding, but depends upon the poles. 120 degree is the electrical angle. Okay, so when I have repeated the winding, I find that it is 60 degree. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so I just forgot to put these raw things here. One second, I'll just put the coils. So I forgot to put the coils here. Yeah, so these are the coils which are for 4-pole machine. Okay, so let us take one same case here where IA is positive and IB and IC are negative. Okay, now A1 and A2 will be getting the same current IA. Okay, so IA will be there for A2 and IA will be there for A1 also. Okay, and B1 and B2, B1, where is B1? So yeah, B1 and B2 will get IB. So this is B2. This also will be IB. And C1 and C2 will get IC. So this is C1. Where it is C2? This is C2. Okay, so you are just giving the same currents to two different coils under the same phase. Okay, two different coils under the same phase. So now let us see. So IA is positive, right? So what is the convention? When IA is positive, A1, A2, so IA is positive, so A1 will get the cross and A2 will get the dot. Okay, so in this, sorry, A1 dash, and in the for A2 dash, so A2 also will get the cross and A1 will get the dot, and it will be the reverse for C1 and C2, B1 and B2. Okay, so let us mark everything here. So this is going to be a, let me take a red pen here. So this will be cross, and where is A1 dash? This will be dot, this will be cross, and A2 dash will be having a dot. Okay, now for the next set, which is B1 will have a dot, right, because of the sign convention, and B1 dash will have a cross, B2 will have dot, and B2 dash will have a cross. Okay, and let us take C2 now. Where is C1 is having a dot, C1 dash will have a cross, and C2 will have a dot, and C1 dash will have a cross. Okay, so now let us see what will be the polarities which are getting created. Okay, so if you see the polarities, let us take only the places where you are having this different current directions, because I can put it other way also, but the diagram gets cluttered. So here you can see it is having a current which is in the outward direction, therefore the magnetic field will be in the counterclockwise direction. So it will be something like this, and here it will be clockwise. Okay, and here it will be like this, and here it will be like this, clockwise. And where is the other portion? Yeah, here also I am having two different things. So here clockwise like this, here counterclockwise like this, and finally you are having one more pole which will get created here. So here you are going to have clockwise, and here you are going to have counterclockwise. Okay, so what does it look like? It looks like you are having some poles which are created here. So one pole is here, one pole is here, one pole is here, one pole is here. Now don't think that these are existing. Actually it is formed in the stator surface itself. Okay, just for explanation I am putting it here. So here it is an inward, right? So south, and here is an outward north, and here also inward south, and here outward which is a north pole. Okay, so here you are having fields which are like this. Okay, so how many poles are getting created? 4 poles are getting created. So if you are having two coils per phase, you will have how many poles which are getting created? You will have 4 poles which are getting created. Now again we have to see in 360-degree electrical rotation. For example, from here to here, which is 360-degree electrical, how much of mechanical rotation is happening within the 4-pole structure? Okay, so let us see that how much of rotation we are going to get. Now I have drawn everything very neatly here. So you can clearly see that this is the reference position, and I have just marked the poles as S1 and S2, N1 and N2, just for naming sake. And this is the reference position, and we are going to start from here till this position where the same wave is going to repeat. So this will be 360-degree or 2 pi electrical degrees. Okay, in that 2 pi electrical degrees, how much of mechanical movement has happened in this particular structure we have to see, because you know that it is going to move in the counterclockwise direction for this particular phase sequence. Okay, so let us take an intermediary position, which is this point here. So you can clearly see here IA is negative. See, the black one is IA, it is negative, and IB and IC are positive. Okay, so as per convention, so if IA is negative, A1 will have a dot and A1 dash will have a cross. Okay, similarly if you see that IB and IC are positive, therefore B1 will have a cross and B1 dash will have a dot, C1 will have a cross, and C1 dash, where is C1 dash, it will have a dot. Okay, now rather than breaking my head down seeing everything and marking it like this, you can clearly see it is forming 3 pairs, right? See, here also it is 3 pairs continuous, 3 cross 3 dot, 3 cross 3 dot. Same thing only will repeat if you try it for the second set of coil also. So here you are having 3, so here I have put again another 2 dots, and here 3 crosses will come, and here 1 dot will come. So 3 3 3. So now if you see that, let us see what is going to be the pole structure now. Now here if you see that, so now here you see, here you are having a cross, therefore it will have a clockwise. Okay, and here you are having a dot, it will have a counterclockwise. Okay, similarly here you are having a clockwise thing, magnetic field, and here you will have a counterclockwise magnetic field for this particular current direction. And here what you will have, here you will have a dot, so counterclockwise magnetic field like this, and here it is a clockwise, so it is like this, okay. And finally here you are having a dot, that means a counterclockwise thing, magnetic field. Here you are having a cross current, therefore it will have a clockwise like this, okay. Now if you just mark the poles here, see now here you are having an outward, right, so you are having a north pole here, okay, north pole, and here also you are having outward, north pole, and here you are having inward, so south pole, here also you are having inward, therefore south pole, okay. So basically what has happened here is that in this particular intermediary position, you know that it's a counterclockwise rotation, right? So this N1 has come here now. This N1 has moved counterclockwise and come in this S1 position. S1 has moved to N2's position. N2 has moved to S2's position, and S2 has moved towards N1's position. Okay, so one small rotation has happened. It is not 360 degree rotation, it's some rotation has happened, okay, based on this particular time period. Now let us see what happens at 360 degrees now. So in 360 degrees, what condition is here? IA is positive, IB and IC are negative. So same condition will come here. So let us use the same diagram here. So cross, 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 dot, 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 cross, 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 and dot, dot, dot. Remember that this is a rotation which is happening, okay. Now we can mark the poles, alright. So here you are having same structure only it will have, just I am just putting S here because it is not S1 going to be there, and here also you are having a south polarity, here you will have a north polarity, and here also you will have a north polarity. You can just check by putting the current magnetic field directions. So you know that it is starting from S1 being here, then it is rotating right like this. So S1 won't be here, okay. So what has actually happened is that this S2 has traveled from this point till this point, and that is represented by this south polarity. See, here N1 had come at this point, right? So next will be S2 is going to come at this point, okay. So if you clearly see this diagram, see I have drawn this for a reason. This is at 180 degree electrical, right? So this is 180 degree electrical, okay, and this total will be till here, it will be 360 degree electrical, okay. So after one more 180 degree, this north N1 will come here, okay. So N1 will come here and S1 will come here in this particular polarity. N2 from here it will come here, okay, and S2 will come here. S2 from here it will come here, okay. So if you see, even though theta electrical has become 360 degrees, from here to here theta electrical has become 360 degrees, but how much is the mechanical rotation of the poles? It is not 360 degrees. See, S2 has traveled from this point to this point, that is only 180 degrees. Or if you see S1 has traveled from this point to this point. See, S1 has traveled from this point to this point, that is only 180 degrees. That means for a 4-pole machine, when theta 60 was theta electrical, it is only 180 degree of mechanical rotation. Or I can tell that theta electrical is 2 times theta mechanicals for 4-pole, and theta electrical was theta mechanical for 2-pole. So if I can write a general equation here, theta electrical for a p-pole machine will be equal to p by 2 into theta mechanical. So if you substitute here and see, you will get the same values, okay. So theta electrical with theta by p by 2 into theta mechanical, okay. That means I'll just take it in the next page. So theta electrical equal to p by 2 into theta mechanical, okay. That means omega electrical will be equal to p by 2 into omega m, okay. Now I don't want this equation in terms of omega actually, alright. I want it in terms of n. So you know that omega m is equal to 2 pi n by 60, where n is in RPM, okay. This is a very well known relation. So I can write 2 pi f electrical is equal to p by 2 into 2 pi n divided by 60, okay. That means if I do a little bit of calculation here, so f electrical will be equal to np by 120, okay. And this n is the speed of rotation of the rotating magnetic field, speed of rotation of the rotating magnetic field, and therefore it has its name, which is called the synchronous speed, alright. So ns is the speed of the rotation of the rotating magnetic field, and it is also called as synchronous speed, and it is a very important relation. That means Ns will be equal to 120 F electrical divided by the number of poles. Okay, so what does it mean? If F electrical is going to increase, that means from 50 Hz to 60 Hz you are going to go, keeping the poles same, Ns will increase. And if you increase the number of poles, keeping F electrical constant, that means for 50 Hz you increase from 2 poles to 4 poles, Ns will come down. Okay, that means for a machine which is having higher poles, the speed of rotating magnetic field will be very less. This is a very important relation. It is having good concepts which will come in synchronous motors, synchronous generators, and also induction machines. So go through this definition very carefully. It might be a little bit confusing with all these diagrams, but still if you look at this lecture a couple of times, I am sure that you will understand. If you are having any doubts, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget that there is an engineering circuit analysis as well as a DC machines course in the same channel. You will find it in the playlist, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.